Big Twitch changes. Uh-oh. Here we go.
If you haven't heard, there are some major updates in the live streaming space. Moist Critical dropped a bombshell video titled Goodbye Twitch, where he says this.
Hey, yo, fuck him, bro.
I am no longer exclusive with Twitch.
Now, he doesn't go on to say that he's signing exclusively elsewhere. He's just no longer exclusive with Twitch. And he'll try things out, right? He'll enter his college era, and he'll go back. He'll link up with Twitch. They'll have hot, nasty sex, but he's going to try out the YouTubes of the world and maybe some other sites. He didn't mention any, but he is right now trying a stream on YouTube.com, which is going really well. He's sitting at 24,000 average viewership, which was his peak on Twitch over the past 90 days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't extrapolate that too far. I would say, you know, he does have a larger presence on YouTube, but live streaming on YouTube is a bit of a pain in the ass. It's kind of hard.
Well, like I think like it's a big change. It's obviously a big video. Of course, people are going to tune in to check in to see what's going on the first day, you know?
Really, streams that do well are ones that happen sporadically because it's an exciting thing, or if it's a big event. Otherwise, you can probably look at a lot of the streamers who switch from other websites to YouTube and see a decrease in viewership generally. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just, you know, they just got to work on some things. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah.
Well, let's focus on the big competitor that's making a huge splash in the headlines, Kick.com. And of course, they had the XQC signing. We talked about that one.
That was a lot of money.
But there's been a couple of other signings that have happened over the past week.
I was watching XQC on Kick earlier. He was finally doing my favorite content, gambling. And he was in a call with Train and like some other guy. I actually was laying in bed and I fell asleep listening to them.
Something even more interesting than just paying a lot of big streamers
assuming that I mean, because I didn't get woken up, I guess he probably lost, right? There were no big wins today. Yeah, gambling ASMR.
Dollars. But first, they signed Your Rage.
Issue 1.
He did the classic, I got a few options. Which one am I going to pick? Are we not even putting YouTube on a fucking truck anymore to pick? Like, is it that much of a joke?
Yeah.
People live stream here, okay? This is a real establishment.
Yeah, there's dozens of them, Ludwig. Or, sorry, Mogul Mail Guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's dozens of people that are watching YouTube live streams. To be honest, I think that YouTube isn't really investing into it. Like, I wish they did invest more into it. That'd be nice.
Where live streams happen. Anyway, this one was not too much of a surprise because Your Rage has some friends who do already stream on Kick.com, but it was a little bit more of a surprise when it was announced that Sapnap would also be going to Kick.com. And if you don't know,
of course,
Sapnap is a Minecraft creator.
Which means that everybody in his entire audience is like a fucking egg without a shell. Like, you can't, if you touch it just slightly, it will like bruise. Like, the Minecraft community is the most sensitive fucking community on the entire internet.
And if you've been at Kick.com, it's not exactly ripe with Minecraft creators. That's not the demographic that currently operates in that space.
No.
He is the first.
No, it's not.
Of that. It's kind of like Hikaru when he went over there. You don't really think of it as the chess hub, but you know, you got to start somewhere. Somebody's got to be the first.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about why this signing is a little bit more problematic in a bit. But
kids are sensitive, to be honest? No, they're not. I think that some kids are, for sure. But, like, most of the kids that watched, that were, like, watching Ice Poseidon and, like, Aiden Ross and stuff, like, they're probably the same age as the Minecrafters. They're just, you know, in different classes at school.
Is it working? Is signing
I think kids are the main audience of that stuff.
Bigger? I mean, they're still massively smaller than Twitch. You know, Twitch, at least according to this website, is getting billions of visits a month, and Kick is getting hundreds of millions.
That's a lot.
But they do seem to be growing. I mean, if you look at their largest day ever, it came directly after the signing of XQC.
Big surprise.
Where they had over 8 million people go to the website. And since then, it went down a bit. But, like, let's be fair. You can't sign an XQC.
I think this is a really good graph. I've never seen this before. This is really interesting to me. One thing that I think is kind of interesting here is that the graphs don't really go up and down that much. But I guess it's because it's a global audience. And I think, like, Kick's graph, it's very hard to tell because, like, Kick's graph hardly ever goes down at all.
See, every month you'll be out $1 billion before the end of the year, and they are getting more visits now than they did before some of those major signings. Right, quarter over quarter, they are growing. I think they just hit 12 million users, which is
like, so let's do some math here, right? So what was the conversion rate of Kick to Stake? I think it was 2.7%. I'm not the kind of person that forgets numbers, That's probably the numbers at 2.7, 2.4, something like that. People that go to Kick go to Stake. Let's assume that it was, all right? Just to make things easy. So if it's 2.7%, let's actually just make it 2.5. It makes it way easier for me. And they're getting 130,000 people every single time that they show up every single month, right? So 130 million people. So 130 million, 2.5% of that is, let's see, 3.4 million people. 3.45 million people. That's a lot. That is a tremendous amount. And also, like, if the average gambler, like, I've heard that the average gambler stakes something like $10,000 or something like that, or gambling like fucking addict does that much money. You think about how many times, like, I think that they probably could have already made their money back with that shit. The average gambler quotes before he hits bid. Yeah, that's the thing, is they would have not spent that 10,000 if they had just kept gambling. They would have made the money back, but you know, like, they're stupid. So, you know, they stopped gambling.
Fast. They hit that pretty quickly. And the question most people ask, aren't they like bleeding money? Where's all this money coming from? Is this sustainable? How are they able to afford signing all these people without actually even running ads on their platform?
I think it's pretty fucking obvious that Kick works as a loss leader for Stake. Everybody knows that. Like, anybody that cares about this at all knows that. So, like, all I'm saying is, like, if you have the numbers, like, but isn't that crazy, though? Whenever you break down the numbers, if it's 130 million and it's got a 2.7 or probably, like, as I said, I was go with 2.5% conversion rate. That's a little bit over 3.4 million people that are going to Stake from Kick every single month, right? And so if you take 3.4 million people and you assume 10% of those million people are going to get addicted to gambling, so 10% of 3.4 million is 340,000. So then you multiply that by 10,000, which is the average amount of money that's gambled. That's over $300 million. So was it really a bad decision to sign XQC for 100 million? No, it's not. 2.5 pin would be insanely high. Those were the numbers that XQC showed himself.
You go to Kick, you won't receive an ad.
But is it moral? Is it moral? I don't think that you heard me. I said $100 million.
Don't have any advertisers at all. To which the CEO of CatDany would say, we don't even care about that. It's not even a problem.
Yeah, no, we've at this moment we're not running ads. You know, I'd like to think we're in a growth phase right now. You know, our sole goal right now is
I also think that Kick will be able to get ads. If there are enough people going on the Kick will find people that publish ads. Nick Fuentes is worse than Aiden Ross by any stretch of the imagination if you view it in terms of being politically correct. And Rumble has ads. It's just like, I don't see how nobody thinks of that.
Right. We really want to grow Kick. We want it to be a name that people recognize when they think of live streaming. We want it to become a part of, you know, internet culture. We want it to be, you know, standing there with the other giants in this industry. We think we can do that. So
now that's not super weird for a startup to want to grow and not be profitable in the first year. It's even not that weird for like a Silicon Valley type company to be.
Many companies aren't profitable for the first 5 years. If you're an esports company, you're never profitable.
Growth phase for a few years and blow hundreds of millions of dollars to capture a huge market share by offering insane services and then turning around and then try to make money, oftentimes making the product experience way worse, like Uber or DoorDash or Netflix. Because it's, wait, our user behavior is already set. We already signed up for all these things. We don't have cable anymore. We cut cable. So you can fuck us all over because we have no option. Now, I'm not saying Kick is going to make their experience terrible when they try to become profitable, but it is not that weird to be in a growth phase. How are they funding this growth phase? They haven't gone.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're funding it with, they're selling unicorn dust. And so it goes for a good price. Yeah, it's unicorns and charitable donations.
For several rounds of VC funding. But luckily, a lot of the people who are on the board at Kick are also on the board at Stake.com.
Wow.
And they're also billionaires. So, you know, a lot of people come to the final conclusion that at its core, Kick is just a marketing vehicle for Stake.
Yeah.
I would say that a little more accurately, the people at stake had enough money to go to a new venture, which they are doing with Kick.com. And they have enough runway.
I think you could logically assume that people from Kick are going to go to stake at a certain ratio. Sure. But, I mean, I don't, like, as I said, I don't think that streaming on Kick is fundamentally advertising gambling in the same way that streaming on Twitch isn't fundamentally advertising sports betting or union busting. It's like if somebody goes to Kick to stream gambling, then yeah, they're promoting gambling. But just streaming on the website at all? I don't like that logic. I hate that logic. More guilt by association stuff.
From all the money they made with stake to lose money with Kick.com for a while. And it does benefit stake if there is a place that they get to choose the regulation on for gambling, that they can still allow it on the site.
Yeah, they literally said, we'll make our own with hookers and blackjack. They literally said it, and they actually did it.
To just being at the whim of another company like YouTube or Twitch, who have banned people for doing gambling content, sponsored gambling content in the past.
Right.
Now, I will stop here to also address that Kick has added some features, like the ability to hide any 18-plus content.
But you don't want to see any women. You just turn it off. You don't want any of them. You don't want to get distracted. You don't want to get taken away from your goals, from where, you know, like life is trying to take you. Like, you have to stay strong, brother. You know, stay on that no-fap grind. No pools, no hot tubs, no bikinis.
Tubs and bikinis, and also hide slots and casinos from your webpage at all. You just have to go to your settings and profile. Which is cool. I think that is a helpful feature. I've seen it get abused a few times. Like, people will just go to the just chatting with both of those categories. But as long as they're good on moderation, that should address that.
Who cares?
And they've also added something that I think is way more interesting than paying big creators millions of dollars, which is their Kick Creator Incentive Program. And these are the first people who are in the beta of said program. This dude looks like me. What the hell?
He's got the actually. Yeah, he got, like, literally the exact same hair. Do I know any of these people? I don't think I do.
They're in the beta of this incentive program, and the question might be, what the hell is it? What does this mean? Basically, they are offering to pay creators for streaming hourly.
Wow.
Not conditional on running ads, and totally in addition to any subscribers or donations from viewers. It is just the website paying creators outright.
That's nuts that they're just straight up paying people to live stream on the website. Oh my god.
And they have a few criteria on how much you get paid. It's based on the number of hours you stream. A flat rate based on Kick's advertising CPMs, which doesn't exist because they don't have ads at the moment. The average viewers you have, and viewer demographics and engagement, which sounds really fucking cool. To be on a website that pays you 95% of the sub revenue and then also is able to pay you hourly if you stream is a huge advantage for smaller creators to maybe go full-time streaming because of all that revenue and then up their creation game, right? Not just...
Well, that's the big thing, right? Is that, like, the reason why people don't move over from, like, Twitch is because they're not going to be able to get as much money. Or it's, like, bad for viewership. Because if Kick gave you more money and the same, if not better, viewership, everybody would be on Kick.
On Kick, but also on YouTube. Focus on making videos, shorts, TikToks, whatever it is. That is a big buff, and it is cool that they're kicking that off. And we'll see how it goes, all right? My take right now on Kick.com, I don't know if I would sign with the website. All right, hey, I'll entertain a conversation. I entertain a conversation with Facebook.com.
Sure,
but it is concerning for someone like me, right, or a big creator to take millions of dollars. Because the question I always have is, what is the goal with all that capital, right? You have to have a plan with all the money that you would receive.
Or you would put it in a pile, and then you would have the pile of money, and then you would work to get the next pile of money, and then after you get that pile of money, then you would go after another one. And you just do that, pretty much, you just keep doing it.
Is more valuable than the value may be taken away from promoting a website that has not the best track record in terms of protecting communities and content moderation, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. However, if you're a smaller creator and this is an opportunity to go full time, I say fuck it. I say get the bag. I say take them for all they're worth, for as long as they're able to pay people out at such a huge loss. Because why not? If it is the dream of all dreams. We accept a lot of evils in our lives, all right? I drink fucking...
It's a big money situation, and people love those. Of course people should take the deal that's best for them. You should never expect a person, like, as I said... There are all these people who said that, oh, well, I don't want to do this because it's unethical. People cannot even maintain ethical consistency with consuming entertainment. Don't expect them to do it whenever it turns into whenever it's about making money.
Nestle water occasionally because I'm fucking thirsty, and they're also an evil. But if it's in your self-interest, if it works for you.
Nestle, I think, wants to put a copyright on water and then sue the penguins in Antarctica for using ice because it could potentially be water. It's pretty fucked up.
I say go for it. I hold more judgment for people who are already millionaires. Yep. They don't really need more millions of dollars unless they have some really cool plan to do with all that money. Anyway,
I think you should do it no matter what, because you don't know what's ever going to happen, and also you could make money for your kids. You could never say like, oh, it's enough or it's enough. Like you can never draw the line for another person. I think you should never try to tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do. Because like in their mind, they could see it in a completely different way. They could have totally different goals. And also like, even if you do have a plan for the money, like let's say you have a plan like, oh, I want to start an esports org. What's the logic that like an esport org is a moral justification for promoting gambling, if that's what the premise is? Because I don't think an esports org is a moral premise for promoting gambling any more than I want more money is. I feel like they're about the same. Always do what's best for you, because if you don't do what's best for you, nobody else will.
Back to the issues with Quick, which is their lack of protecting certain communities. Specifically, if you go on that website, the cover boy of it, Aiden Ross, the guy who is kind of the face of Kick in some ways, his chat is they're ruthless, bro. They really want to kill a lot of minority groups all the time.
Well, not a lot of minority groups, all of the minority groups. Yeah, I don't want people to think that there are some minority groups that get left out. Of course not. It's equal opportunity. They hate all of them.
And Tubbo talked about this after the signing of Sapnap.
And also, keep in mind that this is not just something like these chats would be on Twitch as well. Like if you like Aiden Ross, the problem is that the chat isn't moderated, and he says bad stuff too. Yeah, definitely. But if Twitch put out a screen, like a literal black screen with a chat box next to it, I think in 2 weeks it'd be full of racism, and there'd be people spamming about like Hitler and like stuff like that constantly, because that's just what people do if there's an unmoderated space. 2 weeks, 2 minutes. So I think people would start little memes and stuff like that, and then that would fall away, and then you would have the racism Andes. That's the entire internet. Yeah, exactly. And so like this isn't really an outcome of Kick per se. It's an outcome of just an unmoderated space. That's why every unmoderated space is like this. But yes, obviously Aiden Ross is like a force multiplier for that. It's important to keep both of those things in mind.
With a younger demographic and a gayer demographic.
Is people in communities such as LGBTQIA+, younger demographic and stuff like that. I feel like this platform is not a safe place to be openly trans, not a safe place to be openly Jewish.
And look, Tubbo's 100% right that the chats go fucking crazy. They say some unhinged shit on Kick.com. And I'm worried that Kick has not done enough to stop that, to punish.
Why should they stop it if they don't have to? Because they don't give a fuck. Because this is probably what they're thinking. Like, I guarantee you this is what Kick is thinking. If we stop this, then people will want us to stop something else. And then people are going to want them to do more and more and more. So if they have the policy of doing nothing, which is what Twitter does now, it's what YouTube usually does, it's what a lot of places do, they do nothing. I don't think we need to keep everyone comfortable. Let the world run itself. I don't know. I think that like saying like I'm actually not a fan of saying to kill people. I think that's over the line. I actually think that you should get banned for that because I would consider it incitement of real world violence. Like my rules for this are apply the law to the internet generally, right? So like that, and also like, by the way, First Amendment American law. This is what I believe in. I completely support that. And so let people say what they're going to say as long as it's not against the law.
Creators who let their chats run rampant or even moderate the chats from being able to talk like that at all, and they're going to go down to being like Rumble, just purely associated with maybe some hateful groups, as opposed to just a platform that wants to host content of all types. And
I think people, like, for example, there's a lot of bad stuff on, I've said this before, on like Twitter, right? There's like way more bad stuff on Twitter than there is on Kick. There's probably more bad stuff on Twitter than there is stuff on Kick. And it's just that, you know, they just don't moderate it and they don't have any rules for it. And they say, do whatever the fuck you want. And that's it. There's also platform versus publisher, according to the Communications Act and lawsuits. And Aiden Ross is openly Jewish on Kick. Yeah, I know Aiden Ross is Jewish. I'm not really sure. Call to violence is already illegal. Yeah. And that's what my opinion is, right? Is like, don't go and call to like kill people. Like, I don't know. I think that's pretty fucking common sense, right? In reply to this, Tubbo said Kick and Twitter can't be compared. Why? What is, like, I'm curious, what is the logic that you can't compare Kick with Twitter? It's in this video? Oh, okay, good. All right, let's wait for it.
Cap their ability to grow into a mainstream platform. Now, there was a response from one of the founders of Kick, Bijan, who said, well, I respect the fact that you care about your community. It's unfair to claim Kick is somehow dangerous for them while simultaneously cultivating your community on Twitter.
True. I agree with him.
You would like to improve Kick somewhat, but you are on Twitter.com. Curious.
Yep.
We have platform-wide AI moderation on both video content and chat messages, and we are a young platform, so give us a chance. You know, what the heck? To which Tubbo, like, he went for the crazy reply. He said, hey, man, I get it's young. I don't get why you're comparing your platform to Twitter.com, because that's a much bigger website. And
so because Twitter's bigger? What sense does that make? Okay, so if the problem is, like, for example, being trans, Eddie has never said anything negative about trans people, as far as I know. Eddie from Steak. Meanwhile, Elon Musk has made multiple anti-trans jokes and has gone on record saying things that many people consider to be anti-trans. So what is so like, if he's saying, because I know that like probably the foundation of this argument is that because Aiden Ross is the face of the platform, then it's different. But Elon Musk is the face of Twitter and X, and he said way worse, not probably way worse stuff, but he said things that probably had a much bigger effect than what Aiden Ross said. So I don't think that that's a strong argument at all. It doesn't make sense.
And not predominantly filled with hate speech, which I massively disagree on, Tubbo.
Yes, I also massively disagree on this. Yes, thank you, Ludwig. Of course, yes, it's full of fucking hate speech accounts. There are tons of them. There's a I'll just say it. What we just fucking say it. Let's pretend like it's not pretending. There's an account that's dedicated to dumb things that black people say. And you know what the account is called? N's taking F's. What do you think the N stands for? Is that account banned? No, it's not. It's still on Twitter. I see it occasionally. Oh, it's taking L's, excuse me. I think I actually think of it. Yeah, come on. What are we talking about here?
I do think it is filled insanely with hate speech. And if you're comparing yourself to Twitter as your bar for morale and preventing hate speech, we got a low fucking bar, buddy. We gotta find a new bar to go.
And also remember Quantum on YouTube, for example? Quantum on YouTube went on and he said that there needed to be more shootings, like the Pulse nightclub shooting that killed, if I remember correctly, 42 people, and it was a gay nightclub. He literally called for more gay people to get killed. This was brought to YouTube's attention. YouTube said, hold up. What? We don't see anything. I don't see it. I'm not. Where is it? I don't see it. No, I don't hear it. No, I don't hear it. No, I don't see it here. No, where is it? No, I don't know where it is. Nothing happened. So, like, I really, YouTube comment section, exactly. Is it wrong to imply the majority of Kick is filled with hate speech when 90% of it is just bland streams, just like Twitch? Yeah, I think so. 49 people are killed at Pulse? Oh, it's even worse.
Too. I would argue that the reason you cultivate a platform on Twitter is because it has market share.
There's more people there. So it's financially beneficial.
And has dominated the space. And its recent changes have actually moved a lot of creators off of Twitter. So you don't want to be comparing yourself to.
It moved them off of Twitter for almost 3 days. Yeah, everybody left Twitter for, like, I would say maybe like almost a week. Some of them. Yeah, it's bad.
To them. All right, Twitter's a website that straight up I get offered a clip from Crazy Clip once a fucking day that's titled
"Oh God,
Guide."
bro, I hate these. I hate these fucking these accounts.
Jaywalking gets hit by.
Try not to improve anything. No, it's not about trying not to improve anything. It's that don't go throwing stones whenever you live in a glass house. Don't go and try to and police what other people do while you're financially benefiting from the same thing. Don't go and say, oh, well, this is bad, you shouldn't be allowed to do this, while at the same time, you're doing it. No, I'm not going to take that seriously at all. Shut the fuck up. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be told what to do. Especially not by, like, I can respect somebody who has a principled position, even if I don't agree with them. But I do not respect a non-principled position. I think these are circumstantial positions.
A truck, blushy face emoji, and then a guy jaywalking gets hit by a fucking truck, and it's like 9 a.m. and I'm like, why is this on my For You page?
Yeah.
And then a blue check will reply with just the most low-res gif and lame-ass comment they could think of. If you can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball. So anyway, this Twitter rant aside, I do think Tubbo brought out a bit of receipts, which is Aiden Ross's chat saying, I kill LGBTQ. We all kill LGBTQ. Which, honestly, progressive that they threw in the queue, right? Like, they're actually getting the acronym down.
I mean, there's no IA or plus, but, you know, yep, they're trying to stay with it. Good point, Ludwig.
Down a little bit. That's huge. I don't even want to read that sentence out loud.
I was about to say
Black lives don't. Okay, I don't. None of these sentences are okay to read out loud. I'm going to make you read them and have your thoughts be
He's not even going to say this one,
as opposed to Jesus, man. So you get the idea, all right?
Yeah.
Kick.com right now.
I think they should. I think they should get rid of the people that call for violence. Right? I do. I think that's an easy W, and I think it opens them up for liability. I don't know, like that's my line. Calls to violence, no.
Think is a little too unmoderated and a little too associated with just hate speech outright. And so a creator like Sapnap going over will be an interesting test. We will see. All right, is he going to be hate rated by the people who are around him? Will the people who go to Sapnap's stream feel comfortable being on that stream? Because right now, the only people who stream on Kick.com are people who are paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, like your Rage. People who just get banned on other websites like Twitch or YouTube, so they don't.
Well, Fousey is popping off. By the way, I looked at his Kick stream the other day. He had like 11,000 fucking viewers. That was crazy.
Have anywhere to go, so they check
like 20K.
out Kick.com.
He keeps that up.
Like
Drake might
Fousey
actually show up this time.
Or people who just maybe didn't have enough success to want to continue on a website like Twitch, which doesn't offer as competitive rates in terms of
Sam. Is this the Sam who I think it is? Of course it is.
But and they want to try their hand over on a website like Kick. Right, that seems to be the main three groups of people who I see go over to Kick. And until Kick starts to get their act right and starts to make it a place that feels good and comfortable for anyone to go on, I don't think they're going to grow to that culture point.
I don't think it has anything to do with that personally. I think the reason why people don't go over is because there's not enough people over there and the ecosystem isn't that good. People are staying on Twitter and they're using Twitter and YouTube has plenty of that stuff. It doesn't really matter to them. I think that most people will just exercise better judgment and not consume content that they don't like. That's really what it is. Like, there's a lot of accounts on Twitter that I don't like, and if I really, really, really don't like them, I just block them, and that's it. I don't have to think about it.
Eddie wants them to. I don't think even throwing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars is going to get them there. But we'll see. Time will tell, right? All right, that's it. All right, thank you all for watching. Have a good one. Subscribe. All right, see you later. Goodbye.
When Kick gets better content, all that will disappear. Yeah, because people don't really give a shit, man. Like, they just do not give a fuck. Like, people will watch whatever they want to watch, and if they don't like that kind of stuff, they just won't watch it. That's all there is to it, man. Not true at all. If they had mods, it would be a better website. I think they should tone down some of the spamming, especially, and like the calls to violence. I think that definitely should happen. I don't think that they want to open up the can of worms of banning some people for saying bad stuff, because if they do that, then they're gonna want to get, like, then people will want the next thing banned and the next thing banned, and like before you know it, then they're gonna have to ban other stuff, and I just think that they don't even want to begin with it. So they don't want to open that door, because if you do ban people for saying one thing, then you create a frame of reference for what is bannable. And if you create a frame of reference for what's bannable, you also create a frame of reference for what's not bannable. So if something that should be bannable is in the not bannable frame, then they look bad. You see what I'm saying? I'll link you guys the video. It's a good video. Ludwig had some good points in this.